Sorry about that, babe.
The Tower of Druaga is an arcade-style action-oriented maze game developed and published by Namco and released on a myriad of platforms, but for the purpose of this review, we'll be focusing on the Famicom release, which came out in 1985. In Japan, the Tower of Druaga was very successful across its various releases, including namely the arcade, and it's been said and cited in some publications as being the foundation for future games such as Ys, Hydelide, Zelda, and Dragon Slayer. Also, the Tower of Druaga was noted as one of the first games to encourage sharing tips and hints with friends and needing guidebooks. We'll get into that more later. The story states, "In another time in another world, the blue crystal rod kept the kingdom in peace, but the evil demon Druaga hid the rod and the maiden key in a tower. The prince Gilgamesh wore armor and attacked monsters to save Key in the Tower of Druaga." So yeah, you take control of Gilgamesh, traverse 59 floors, slay Druaga, and then rescue the maiden key on the final floor. Pretty by the book story, but it is what it is. Also an interesting fact, I purchased this game because the sequel, The Quest of Key, was featured on Game Center CX and I was incredibly interested. Alright, getting down to the nuts and bolts, the gameplay. The premise is simple. Guide Gilgamesh through the floor, kill or avoid enemies, find the treasure, find the key, leave the floor, rinse and repeat. It's the stuff in between that makes this game unique. Each floor will feature a variety of enemies, some tougher than others, with, for the record, floor 5 probably being the biggest difficulty spike that I find in the game. Finding the treasure is not only helpful for Gilgi, but imperative on many of the floors. That's right, if you're unable to find some treasures, you will not be able to beat the game. The thing that's annoying about this fact is, the way that you unlock each treasure becomes more and more cryptic as time goes on. Seriously, the only way you'd be able to beat this game without a guide is being extremely smart, having all the time in the world, and some luck. Luckily, if you die, or if you're semi-soft locked, you can go back to previous floors utilizing the continue feature, which you'll be using a lot because the Tower of Druaga has very punishing difficulty and the game doesn't get easier until you advance pretty far and get some items such as the speed boots, various armors, swords, rings, and the like, which help boost your speed, attack, defense, and so forth. I'd also be remiss if I did not mention that some of the items on few of the floors have negative impacts. Yeah, so it's cryptic, and occasionally the game will try to screw you for being adventurous. Wonderful! As you could expect from a mid-80s arcade port, the graphics kinda cap out at decent. I like them, but in saying that, they aren't really anything to write home about. The controls are pretty responsive, and I didn't really find myself making the wrong move many times due to the fault of the game, rather just myself or potentially my wireless controller. The soundtrack is pretty limited as well. When you do get the theme shifts on different floors, it is a welcome addition, albeit jarring at times. You hear that music shift, there's probably a dragon coming. The thing that makes Tower of Druaga so addicting is its minimalistic arcade style. This is one of those games that you truly feel like the ideas and the foundation is there. It probably could have used a little bit more time and probably future technology as well. In saying that, there are more modern ways to play the Tower of Druaga, such as the PC Engine and GameCube, but those will be better left for another day. The Tower of Druaga is a highly addicting, incredibly cryptic, sometimes downright frustrating arcade-style romp. This game isn't a masterpiece, but it's also not a pile of trash. The Tower of Druaga to me is the epitome of average, but with a cool overall theme, tone, and addictive nature. As such, I give the Tower of Druaga a 6 out of 10. I probably won't be beating this one again, but I'm glad that I did at least once. If you've enjoyed this review, please consider subscribing to my channel and liking the video. I'd really appreciate it. Also, I try to reply to all comments on all my videos. I appreciate the support, and until next time.